Good morning and welcome to Community Focus. I'm Faith Daniels, and the pandemic has been a serious situation for so many of us, but these are things that we thought would be secondary: arts, entertainment, healing, information. We've learned to live virtually, and through our virtual navigation of real life, we've come to the understanding that we've had to negotiate a lot of different boundaries, in addition to so many new journeys. We are celebrating not only coming to the end of a quarantine process, but we're also celebrating the fact that virtually we can do so much more than we ever thought. We could do so much more than we really had to do. But now it's become our new normal. Let me introduce to you an individual who is no stranger to this show, with the signature, with amazing arts and entertainment, not only in the Miami Valley, state of Ohio, as well as the nation. We thank you so much for joining us, Sierra Leone, OFP
Yes.
Productions. Thank you for coming.
Oh my goodness, Faith. It's been so long, but boy, have we followed the way that you have carried community through. We're so delighted and excited to be here with you today.
Oh, thank
and
you.
you know we love 92.1 WROU.
It's been a journey. It has been a journey during the pandemic. And
Yes,
you
it
and I have
has.
spoken several times, and we've talked about how different and how difficult it has been for people to relive their old lives in a pandemic state. So we were used to going to the signature. We're used to going and enjoying interactive experiences, and now we're virtual. But you have come to the table with an offering that allows us to not only remain virtual, safe, social distancing, boo, I hate that word anymore, but still allow us to travel a new journey together, a journey of arts, a journey of healing, and a new journey of information that allows us to make practical life application to what you're bringing to us. Tell us about it, because when I first heard about it, I'm like, that's a whole lot going on. But everything about it is so needed and so timely. And we've got some individuals with us today, but give us the overview, and then we're going to bring these ladies in.
Yes, indeed, Faith. And I thank you so much for such a beautiful description there. But what we've put together is an urban creative arts healing and performance symposium. It's happening April 16th and 17th. And for us, the pandemic taught us so much. It taught us that we have a lot of growing and healing to do, and more impact. The upheaval, the separation, all of that. And what it brought forth was an opportunity for us to figure out to live beyond and elevate our roles as artists, urban artists, beyond just this notion of entertainment. And so for us, we thought, how do we take that voice that we would hear at a signature show between 9 and 11 p.m. and celebrate that voice during the day? We would allow them to not only perform, but to present and to equip, to honor, and to celebrate their work with community post-pandemic where we are now. And that's how, Nate and I came up with this idea of we should host an urban creative arts symposium. And we should do it where we're celebrating what we love, which is performance, but we're providing healing because we need it so deeply. And I know the ladies joining me today will speak to that. And we're just so thankful for this special project grant that we received that's allowing us to do this work through the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District. And it was administered through Culture Works. And so the support, the root support was there for us to create this experience. And so, Faith, we're glad to have you a part of the experience, and also the other sisters that's here today with us.
Well, you have done a fantastic job, because when we run down, this will be the first of 2 shows that will highlight what will be presented. But when we talk about bringing together an eclectic blend of different things that you didn't even know you needed to know, and being able to really put it in a voice that everybody can benefit because everybody can understand it. It's not somewhere so artsy, so professionally scripted that some people, well, wait a minute, that's kind of not. Yeah, it's for everybody. It's for the entire community. It's for students. It's for adults. And it's definitely for us to move forward. And that's what it's all about, with a different outlook on what we're doing, not only in our own lives, but what we can do in the community, because there are things that people can offer to others that they didn't even think about it. I do my job every day, every single day. And when you asked me to be a part of this, I'm like, well, what am I going to say? I talk every day. So what am I offering? You were like, but how did you do it? And nobody ever really asked me, how did you get through the pandemic while you had to talk the rest of the Miami Valley through the pandemic? And I don't get a day off. I don't get an opportunity to say, I can't adult today. I can't do real life today. I don't have that option, because that's the profession that chose me. In an opportunity for us to reach people and share our own experiences and allow them to use that to be able to take their life and their life experiences to the next level. This is an amazing power-packed 2 days of what's going to be happening. Give the web address before we get to Faraha, please.
Yes, indeed. It is. You can purchase tickets. If you're a student, you can attend for free. If you're a high school student, if you're a college student, due to the grant, we could discount the tickets for you. And if you're an adult, we were able to get very reasonable rates for folks to attend the 2 days. Folks can purchase or get tickets at eBright, on eBright, that platform. And they just need to put in Urban Creative Arts, and it pops right to the top. And if you don't see it, you can add the Healing Arts and Performance Symposium. But as soon as you put in Urban Creative Arts, we pop up and you can see that. This gathering, as you described it, Faith, we're going to have in one place artists, educators, innovators, entrepreneurs, activists, scientists, healers. I mean, in one space, in 2 days. And we're also going to have a Black Futures panel that is giving resources and information to the community to support them beyond the pandemic. And so I think when you could get stateside folks from workforce development, when you can get folks who are dealing in entrepreneurship, when you can get people to come together to do great things in that way, it's powerful. It's very powerful. I'm going to let you go to Faraha. I need to grab.
Oh my gosh. She is just absolutely incredible. And I have the pleasure of having you join me today. I've seen you perform 100 times. You have a wonderful quality and quantity to what you offer. You educate, you stimulate, you motivate, and most importantly, through your words, you nurture. And you will be, it's my pleasure. When you hear a wordsmith use words, melodic inferences that allow them to take us on a guided imagery through anything that you're talking to us about. You could be discussing the phone book and I would listen.
Oh my goodness.
Such a healing experience.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Tell us what you're going to be bringing to the symposium for the participants.
Yeah, well, I'll be presenting a session called Building Our Temples for Tomorrow. It's rooted really in my passion for learning more about Africa and how I am connected to it. In addition to being a poet, I'm a professor at Sinclair Community College and a founder of the Ubuntu Study Abroad program, where we have taken a group of students or a couple groups of students to Durban, South Africa. For those of us who are African American, there's a power in going back to Africa and physically being there. And so what I'm hoping to generate in my session is a connection through poetry to some of what I experience as an African American woman being there. And when you were talking about, surviving through the pandemic, I mean, we have dual pandemics going on. We have this pandemic of racism that we've been living through. So my session will look at issues around that and getting people writing. My hope is that people will come into my session ready to connect with each other, to learn about some of my experiences, but also to write so that they can move forward too.
And to hear the sound of their own voice, because sometimes, and it's not funny because I say this, but I mean it. There are voices in my head that unless I put them on paper, they will continue to talk to me, and they will
Right.
continue to have a complete dialogue in my head that sounds so good
Yes.
unless I write it out. And I think a lot of people are thinking, oh, I could hear this in my head. I can hear exactly how that person's voice would sound.
Mm-hmm.
Write it. Write it.
Get
And that's
it
what we're
down.
hoping to stimulate people to do with you.
Absolutely. That's definitely my desire. And to help, if some of what you're feeling and hearing um is hurtful because there's some little bit of loss there. Let's get it out. Let's put it down. Let's work with it, especially as it relates to learning about culture and heritage.
That's right. And I'm so glad you touched on that. As African American women, we have things that continually are on a loop in our head.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that people say about us. There are things that people say to us. And it just bounces around and bounces around in there.
Mm-hmm.
And unless we write it out and then write it out into a resolution, it's difficult for us to then process it because it's still in our head.
Right.
The pen and the paper literally saved my life because once you get those things out, it can be addressed because there's some things, and you will agree with me, there are some things that are too painful to even be spoken. You can't even say it. You have to write it down.
You have
and
to write it down.
Slide it across the table to the therapist and say, now work with that for a minute and then get back to me. Definitely.
Right.
We're hoping to speak to that spirit in so many of the individuals that will be participating. Now, we have some other ladies that are with us that I marvel because these young ladies are in the Miami Valley making amazing strides and doing so many great things. And I want to bring in Deja. Deja, thank you so much for joining us. Wait a minute. Let me get your mic together. Hold on just a second. Let's get you. There we go.
Good.
And we're back. There we go.
Thank you so much for creating this space for us to explain what's going on. And thank you to the great Sierra Leone for curating this entire process for us.
Now tell us where people will remember you from, because you have organized a number of things in the Miami Valley. And I just keep seeing you popping up, doing the work, popping up, doing the work. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. I am the founder and the executive director for the Dayton Young Black Professionals. But people would probably see me all over just for being rooted in community. Just really go standing in the gap for us in West Dayton to advocate for the things that we need, which kind of takes us into what we're doing. I know people are probably like, Deja, you are not an artist. And that's true. I am not. But I am a creative. And it's creativity that sparks the minds, that sparks the movements.
And you know what? Let me ask you about that, because people will, and that's what I talked about in the beginning, there's such an eclectic blend of individuals who've come together in this space. And what I love about you is you said it. I'm a creative, which means I can create opportunities for people to begin to think out of that little tiny box that they've put themselves in and come over to our way of thinking to be a part of the change that you are motivating every day, that you are putting the work to the ground and making it happen. So tell us about what you're going to be presenting.
Yes, ma'am. So our part is called The Art of a Movement. And it's an interactive workshop that, you know, not only explains what an artist activist is, but showing how as creatives outside of the normal artist or what people are considered to be artists, to show how we can use our creativity to push these movements forward. And whatever that looks like. Everybody has something that they feel some type of way about. Everybody wants to advocate for something. I'm just a part of this workshop to show them that there's not one way that you can attack an issue. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways. And you use your creativity to do that. You know, and what's so great is that the people that are going to speak with us, they're all people that are in different art mediums. They're not necessarily considered artists, but they create spaces where people can do the things that they want to do. So we're really excited about this. We all play a role in this work to give hope for humanity. We're just trying to help people tap into what that looks like for them.
And the key thing that I think from your vantage point, you are the glue You've been the glue through a number of events, a number of gatherings where a whole bunch of people come from a whole different place. And they've been able to come together and realize we're not so different. We're more alike than we are different. However, we bring some amazing gifts, talents, and offerings to the table. And you have a very, very beautiful gift of putting those gifts and talents right in the right place, building the right energy to move a movement forward. Will you be helping people to understand how in their little corner of Miami Valley, in the little corner of Montgomery County, they can do that in their own lives, in their own small circles?
Yep. Just trying to, point out curate the spaces where you could point out the skills, sharpen the skills, and use the skills together to create the city that we want to see, the places that we want to be in. We can all advocate in different spaces, just giving us the tools to show us how.
That's right. That's right. I am so excited to have you a part of this. I cannot wait, because everything about you just screams positive energy. It screams forward motion. And I love the fact that you're youthful, in the fact older women like me who are waiting for somebody to step up and take the weight, share the weight with us. You have done that. You have done that with no reservation. And we appreciate you, young lady. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. Now we have another young lady that is joining us. And you know what? I am so happy to have you be a part of us, and we are excited. Please introduce yourself and tell us about how you're going to be presenting to us and what we're going to enjoy with you.
Yes. Thank you for having me on the show today, Faith. My name is Kiana Daniels. Most people know me as Key. And I am an entrepreneur. I am an ecosystem builder. And that means in the entrepreneurial community, I provide and create resources and make connections, events, programs for entrepreneurs to get started. And I do a number of things in the community. So I am happy to be here, and thank you to Sierra for putting on this wonderful event.
Absolutely.
Pretty much a conglomerate of resources and people and talent and skills and expertise, and it's going to be very exciting.
Well, let's talk about that, because it's an interesting thing that you just said. You said, I create an ecosystem. Now, I read that in your bio, and I'm like, so she gathers all the people together and make sure that everybody has the things that they need, or the directions or the resources to grow their business. Is that pretty much right?
Yes, yes. My tagline for myself professionally and personally is I am a connector of people to people and people to resources.
That's powerful, because one of the biggest problems most entrepreneurs have had during the pandemic, or even after, is the fact that they know what they want to do. They know what they have to offer. They have no clue where to start, what resources they're going to need, or resources that they didn't think that they would need that will definitely be beneficial to them. And you are that individual that will connect all of the dots for them.
Yes, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. The pandemic has been, I think, a blessing and a curse for a lot of people. There has been a lot of silver lining in the pandemic, with all of us having the opportunity to really slow down and to just, and to reflect on what has occurred, what is happening now, and what we truly want out of life. And I am personally grateful for the time that it has given us. And I see it every single day in the entrepreneurs that I work with. They too have been answering very deep rooted questions about who am I? What do I want to do? What mark do I want to have? And what contribution do I want to have in the world? And specifically through entrepreneurship, how do I want to show up, and what voids and gaps and needs do I want to fill with a product or service? And so I am someone who is there to help people see that through from start to kind of finish. Is, what idea do you have, and how do we bring that to fruition? How do we get you connected to the resources that are going to help you build a solid foundation for your business to really bring that to the world and scale?
Well, and that's the other piece that, we talk about all the time. Most people try to go into business with the money they have in their checking account. Most people try to go into business with an idea, a passion, and If I build it, they will come. You better build it and then tell them about it and then go get them and bring them. There's so many moving parts that so many entrepreneurs fail in that first year because they didn't do a business plan. Number one. Number two, they didn't have the resources that once they even executed the business plan, they're still trying to operate capital wise from a paycheck that they're getting from another job and pay their bills and try to stay in business. You are what they need. Definitely in this challenging time. You are definitely what they need.
Well, thank you for that. And yes, you're absolutely right. A lot of times, you know, the very basic thing that people should do when they are thinking about starting a business is to do some market research. You have to
yes.
Are there people who are going to pay for this product or service? And then also, why am I getting into entrepreneurship in the first place? What is my why, personally and professionally? What is the lifestyle I'm trying to create for myself? And again, I think something that's most important is what is the contribution that I am trying to give to my community, to society?
That's right.
And what do I want to be legacy? So my session will be kind of a combination. It will be talking about personally a journey of entrepreneurship and navigating it while you're in a season of transition and growth, which is very challenging.
That's every entrepreneur, because the reason you become an entrepreneur, because you're so sick of something that's been going on, you have finally gotten tired and it finally hurts bad enough that you're ready to move on and do your own thing. You are timely. You are right on time with that message. There are so many people during the pandemic that either lost a job, had to be an entrepreneur, or they weren't going to eat or have somewhere to live, or they saw this as an opportunity to take their shot at it, take their shot. But again, a lot of things were not in person. So there was no, well, I'm just going to go to this office and I'm going to go sit with these people and I'm going to try to get the resources that you need. It didn't exist. But you are bringing something so incredible that every entrepreneur, every person who thinks they want to be an entrepreneur needs to be in your session to figure it out. And that why is the most important thing, because that why will do one of two things. It'll keep you up at night or it will help you sleep at night. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. So let's bring all of the ladies. Yes, it's been so much of an experience that each and every one of these beautiful ladies have something so tremendous to offer and so tremendous to add that when we look at everything that's going on and we look at everything that has gone on with us as a people, as women, and as business women, and as entrepreneurs, this pandemic, I prayed that people would come out better than they went in. Because honestly, it was a time of silence. It was a time of introspection. It was a time of reflection. And most important, it was a time of I am dedicated. Because if you weren't dedicated during the pandemic, it showed. It really showed, no matter what you were doing. So Sierra Leone, you were dedicated through the pandemic to get this created, to bring it to us. Give us the details on how people can get connected and how they can go online. Give us the web information again, how they can get tickets.
You know, Faith, quickly before I tell you that, I just want to share and speak right to what you said. And you speaking directly to what we needed to be through COVID. You guys, what we had to realize to get to this point, to create this symposium, is that we could not be who we were pre-COVID. And when we could forgive ourselves and let that go and those personas and who we were, and, you know, we didn't just get a months in God or whoever you serve or whatever the higher, whatever that is, didn't come and say in 6 months, we're going to break out with the pandemic and everybody need to get their business in order. That we had a 1 day notice on a paradigm shift. And so I'm just saying all of us are doing the very best we can. And if no one has told you in this year, your best is good enough. And that's what we had to realize. This is the best for us. And what we've done is come together, these three amazing women, four, because Faith is involved as well. But we thank Faraha for being a presenter, a performer, and a lead supporter. You know, when you're looking at Deja's work, the forward in community and connection. And Key working with Launch Dayton to ensure that when we had this huge gap, as many entrepreneurs as possible could come together and decide, do you want to be an entrepreneur, or are you just tired of sitting at home? Go take some trainings, do all type of stuff that you could do to pull yourself together. And if you can't do any of that, you could have turned on that radio and listened to Faith Daniels, which was soothing. And that's something that my 9-year-old said. Can you just turn Miss Faith on? You know what I mean?
And let her just talk. Just let her talk.
I know he did.
I'm gonna just put it on Miss Faith. He don't know the call numbers. He just start calling Miss Faith Station. But nonetheless, for us, if you want to get tickets, you know, you can reach out to us on eBright. We have all of the information there. Our email, the link right to go. It's such an easy process. You're going to go in there. You're going to click that you want to purchase a ticket. If you're a student, you get to come for free, and you'll contact your school, and then they will work with us, with our education team, to get you in there, to get your classmates in there if you want to come Friday or Saturday.
There's
perfect. Something for everyone. If you're a college student, a lot of institutions are paying for their students to attend. So reach out to your school. Shout out to Sinclair for having a gang of students attending. We appreciate it.
That's awesome.
So excited.
That is
so
awesome.
excited.
So excited for seeing.
I'm like, get on that eventbrite.com, students.
and get it done. And get it done. And what I want to do before we No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, then for those who are buying general admission tickets, you know, you can just purchase them. And I know Deja, you know, from her organization, from Young Black Professionals, they got some for about 5 or 6 folks that they're going to donate in there for people to grab tickets. And so people can donate tickets even if they can't come, Faith, or they can just purchase a ticket and join us. If I'm missing something, ladies, please let me know. And that's
one of the things that I wanted to make sure that you touched on was that this is not only the quote unquote educational piece, it's interactive. These are interactive sessions where people can not only get something, because sometimes I told you before we started this, my ADD will kick in and the next thing you know, I'm off to something else. But your sessions are all interactive so that not only will they listen, feel, hear, enjoy, they will have tools that they can take away and be able to make application in their own lives with everything that we share.
That's the only way now. People don't have time for that, for the pontificating and philosophizing and going over it. You know, people want answers. You know, they want to know, how is this going to solve a problem? When you are in these workshops, you'll be more equipped, move forward in your life. That's through conscious parenting. That's if you want to be a storyteller and change your story into content. That's if you want to work 9 to 5 and still make art. That's if you want to look at the world and how science works and how showing up the world. If you want to use your work as a musician to heal people that's dealing with violence. If you want to turn your personal art into a movement. If you want to hack into the game through entrepreneurship. If you want to learn how to talk like Faith. Now, you might not get it all in that session, but she's going to give you some tips. If you want to just learn how to look at language, you can do that through verbs and work like that. Basim Blunt is going to walk us through that process as well. We have songwriting, you guys. We have a representative, Chiquita, coming in to speak with us about how to get funded for your projects. And so you may go to songwriting, or you may choose to go get funded, see how do you get funded with your projects that you have going on, or you can take a class where they're going to show movement, healing in the body, but also how that aligns with our words. And all of us get to attend the Black Futures panel, because it'll be a public free piece for everyone to attend. And you can get up on Saturday and come to yoga. If you're not going to come to yoga, go over there and build a few temples with Faraha. Or better yet, if you love crocheting, you got to get in there with Aaron and do that crocheting. That is medicinal art, something that we don't normally talk about, but it's happening in community. And the House of Healing, the heart will be there as well. There is something there for everyone, and the signature will return. It's going to be virtual, but y'all know we're going to show out, though, even though it's going to be virtual. We're going to find a way. We are going to find a way to be great. And to keep it black.
Well, one of the things I want each of you ladies to do, and I'm going to bring you to the front when you do it, I want you to provide your social media so that people can connect with you prior to the event. So Sierra Leone, we'll start with you. When I bring you to the front, just give us your social media platforms where people can connect with you and follow you. And, you know, that is so the way of the world now. Where can I follow you? Where can I find you? And I used to say, at my house. Because that's where I am. I'm at the house. Just come by. I'm at the house. But with the pandemic, that's the way we connect. So give us all of your social media.
Yes, indeed. You can reach us at the Signature, a Poetic Medley Show, the home of urban creative arts. That's right online. Or you can reach out to me at Sierra.Leone on Facebook. It's Sierra.Leone39 on Facebook. Or you can reach out to us on Instagram at OFPP. Or yep, that's it. That's enough. Thank you.
All right, gorgeous. Let people know how they can hear more of your work, because I know you've got some stuff on your page. Let them know how they can connect with you.
Yeah, you can most easily connect with me at Facebook, Furaha, F-U-R-A-H-A, Henry Jones.
Well, I tell you, I love your voice. Almost as much as I love mine. I love the way you sound. I mean, and when you talk for a living and when you hear another voice and you're like, I like that. That's nice.
Oh my goodness.
It does what it's supposed to do.
Thank you.
All right, gorgeous. Tell us how we can follow you.
All right. So all of my social media is at Deja Demings, just minus the apostrophe. But if you want to get involved and you want to get into the work, then go ahead and follow at Dating Young Black Professionals on everything.
That's awesome. And that's another thing. That's another show that I encourage you to come back and let us talk about that and dive a little deeper into that so that we can get people more acquainted with your organization and then get them activated within your organization and engaged. Even if they're not young, you can make a donation.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if you
generational thing. We can't do one thing without the other. And shout out to Faraha, like that Sankofa. You know,
absolutely.
All of us, we all play a part, and we have to learn from everybody in every realm and every generation to do what we need to do for the movement. So thank you.
And you know, you're right. You're so right about that. And hello, young lady. Tell us how everybody can connect with you to finally launch that business and stay in business once they get in business.
The best way to find me is to connect with me on LinkedIn, Keanna Daniels, Keanna Daniels, Daniels. That's the best way to get to me, and I promise I will find you back.
Well, if you're an entrepreneur now, and I know there's going to be a ton of them that listen to this show, and they're thinking, I don't know, I'm clueless. I got out here, I started it. I just want you to tell them real quick, don't quit, because you're going to have the answer for what they need in your presentation.
Absolutely don't quit. Definitely be empowered and believe in yourself, because it is possible. All things are possible. If you have a dream, it can come to fruition. And I would say and share another platform that is really great to connect with is launchdating.com.
Yes.
If you want to know and get connected to any of the resources in the community, launchdating.com has you covered. You can follow us on social media as well, which a lot of people do already, but definitely connect that way as well. And we'll get into some really fun stuff in my session and workshop. It is a workshop because they're going to do work.
I love it. I love it. And that's the only way you're going to get to the bag is get to the work. You got to get there first. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing this time with us today. And what will happen at the end, you can find this interview again on our website at 921WROU.com. You'll also find it on our Facebook page at 921WROU. And of course, we put it there so that you can rewind it, play it again, watch it again, share it with a friend. We want to make sure you know you are invited. There's also going to be a flyer attached that when you see the video, you're going to also see the flyer right next to it. Click the link and it will take you directly to Eventbrite so that you can order your tickets and you can join us. You will not be disappointed. This is something I'm so excited about being a part of because it gives everybody an opportunity to find their voice. And that's what it's about. Finding your voice and then giving it real life application once you get the tools to be able to work it out. And that's what it's about. Doing the work, getting to the bag. Eventually, that's where we all get to go to, is to the bag, because your art can take you to the bag. It really can. It can. Sierra Leone, ladies, thank you for sharing time with us today. And again, you've been checking out Community Focus. I'm Faith Daniels. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.